Everyone has at least heard or seen the luxury car, Lamborghini, once or twice. The car is known for its sleek designs, speed, power, and its breathtaking beauty. It is a luxury car that only the elite group in society can afford. The car is a dream car for quite many people. However, this luxury car that everyone dreams of having has an astonishing history. Let us talk about the history of the luxury car and its creation. The inception of the Lamborghini. He was a prisoner of war who after his release returned to Italy to open a small garage where he converted all the military equipment that he could get his hands on and made them into tractors. His venturing into this turned him into a millionaire and the founder of Lamborghini. His industriousness came about because Enzo Ferrari, founder of Ferrari, insulted him that he was just a farmer. All about Ferruccio Lamborghini. Ferruccio was born on a farm in the rural town of Rinazzo in northern Italy on April 28, 1916, 20th century. His parents were grape farmers, which gave them a source of livelihood because they made wines from the grapes and sold them for extra cash. He was brought up in the vineyard and was taught to have a desire to make quality products. Ferruccio engraved their words in his heart and put them to use not in the making of grape wines like they had imagined, but in fixing their tractors. He was not keen on learning how to farm, but on fixing their farm tools. He had eyes for fast cars, and this act of his raised the eyebrows of his parents, who felt it too dangerous for Ferruccio to drift from the family business. However, despite these speculations, he took his passion further by learning mechanics at the Fratelli Tati Technical Institute. At this point, he never went back to join his parents in the vineyard after his graduation. Rather, he went to a master blacksmith for training, who in turn shared all of his ironworking and welding secret with Ferruccio. However, this skill was not enough for him because he had his eyes on an industry called Cavaliere Righi in Bologna, where Ago worked on the maintenance of the Italian army vehicles. Being the determined person that he was able to convince the owner to hire him. Hence, when he was 18 years old, he returned to his hometown, Rinazzo, Italy, where he had a joint business with an old friend called Marino Filippini. Because he was very optimistic and determined, he would get himself old cars and motorbikes, repair them in a way that they will be easily discovered when driven on the dusty country road, and at once realized this as an opportunity to go far away from the clutches of his captors. These were the carefree and intense moments of Ferruccio's life, thereby leaving a lasting impression on his personality and character. Prisoner of war. He became a prisoner of war 26 years before Lamborghini was labeled the world's fastest sports car, 1940. The Royal Italian Air Force enrolled him during the Second World War to be the mechanics to maintain all the military vehicles at Garrison in Rhode Island, Greece, where he directly reported to the High Command Armed Forces, otherwise called Autocentro. Because of his zeal and extraordinary intuition when working on engines, he soon became the head of the department. On September 8, 1943, the German took over the garrison after the Italians surrendered and evicted all the Italians, but Ferruccio, who couldn't stay away from the engines for an extended period, came back in civilian clothes and asked for permission to open his workshop, which was granted to him because they saw an opportunity to exploit his mechanical skills rather than imprison him and let it waste away. However, in 1945, the Allied forces arrived and took everyone as prisoners, including Ferruccio, but soon discovered his skills and made him work on maintaining their old vehicles. 1 year later, 1946, he was released. Nevertheless, the first few years of Ferruccio's stay at home were not joyful at all because his wife Clelia Lamborghini died while giving birth to their only child Tonino Lamborghini. Birth of Lamborghini tractors. In 1947, after his wife's death, he put all his energy into his work by fixing pre-war tractors, cars, and lorries. One day his father reached out to him saying that he needed a tractor. These words from his father changed the course of his life, because he realized the shortage in agricultural equipment for the farmers and peasants. Ferruccio then took up the buying of spare military vehicles and making a new tractor about it with a Morris engine that works on cheap diesel and a set of others on expensive petrol, and selling it to the farmers under his company, which he called Lamborghini, which didn't take time before he began to get demand for his tractors. Ironically, this was also the year Ferrari was founded. The degree to which his tractors were loved and demanded by the farmers got him to need more capital for his business. This caught the eye of his father, who used his farm as collateral to the bank so that Ferruccio could get a loan from the Cassa do Risparmio di Cento. He got the loan and got 1,000 Morris, Perkins, and Dodge engines from Ferrari, 6-cylinder, 3,500 cubic centimeters gas-powered. and more workmen, thus the production of tractor L33, the evolution of Carioca was made. In 1951, there was a great need to move to a larger workspace, which made Ferruccio buy a 10,000 square meter field that was once a racetrack area, and this served as a medium to which Lamborghini tractors began to thrive and succeed in the market. In 1956, Lamborghini tractors had become extraordinarily successful that they commenced the design and manufacture of oil-burning heaters along with the production of air conditioning units for buildings. This changed his status tremendously from a respected tractor manufacturer to a wealthy industrialist and made him become a household name all through Italy. Ferrari versus Lamborghini. The rivalry between the two inventors goes way back, 50 years ago, and it began when Lamborghini got very successful in his tractor business and got himself a 1958 Ferrari and began to have issues with the brand because the car was noisy, runs too rough on the road, and the car's clutch was always getting burnt, thereby needing constant repair. Hence, took his complaint straight to the hearings of Enzo Ferrari, who told Ferruccio Lamborghini that he was just a tractor driver and a farmer, and didn't have the right to complain over his invention because they were the best cars in the world. Ferrari was at that time the champion in the car business. He felt insulted and didn't appreciate the critical analysis of what was thought to be wrong with his invention Lamborghini. Ferrari believed that Lamborghini didn't know anything about his cars or cars in general and felt that he, Lamborghini, should stick to tractor building while leaving the cars to be made by the best car company Ferrari. This statement infuriated Lamborghini and made him decide to diversify into the sports car industry, turning his hobby into a passion for making the best sports car. Lamborghini took the insult as a driving force and started making designs and models of his own. In May 1963, Lamborghini officially opened Ferruccio Lamborghini Automobiles with a bull as its emblem and bought land near Sant'Agata, Bolognese, where he constructed a new factory for his car enterprise. Based on his tractor building experience, he made the building for his cars very permanent that it was unrivaled. In October of the same year, which was 9 months after he clashed with Enzo Ferrari, he designed his models and chose an engine from Glaudo Bizzarini, who was the actual designer for Ferrari's recent engines at that time, and for the rest of the pieces needed for the car model of his choice he hired Giampaolo Dallara and Paolo Stanzani, and with their joint work he launched the Lamborghini 350 GTV at the Turin Motor Show, and by the end of 1964, he had sold his first 13 cars. Although he later changed the name of the model to Lamborghini 350 GT, this model was notable for its refinement, power, and comfort. It was known as a masterpiece because it contained a V12 engine, 5-speed transmission, 5-wheel disc brakes, and 4-wheel independent suspension. This helped Ferruccio to prove to Enzo and his doubters that he was not just a farmer but was capable of top-notch mechanical evaluations, which can create exemplary cars. Lamborghini gets praised. In 1966, Lamborghini is celebrated for his brand, Miura Sports Coupe Air, which was the first supercar to have a rear mid-engine two-seat layout, though the layout was seen during road car production. This layout has since become the standard for sports and supercars and is still in use today. The Miura was created to be a street racing car by Lamborghini's engineering team that was headed by Marcello Gandini, who designed the car in their spare time against the wish of Ferruccio Lamborghini, who preferred powerful but sedate road cars over race car machines produced by his rival, Enzo Ferrari, and also because of his racing incident in 1948. ESPADA is born. In 1968, ESPADA was developed by Marcello Gandini, who got inspired by two of his Bertone show cars, Lamborghini Marcel and Bertone Piranha. It was considered to be one of Lamborghini's greatest classics alongside Aslero, Jarama, Marzal, and Miura. It is a 4-seater GT that was sold along with Aslero and the mid-engine Miura. ESPADA and Aslero both replaced Lamborghini 400 GT 202+2, thereby having similar mechanical underpinnings. The ESPADA had a more visually daring alternative, described as a conservative and discreet Aslero. However, for over 10 years of its production, it has gone through a lot of changes. Therein, 3 series were created. The series are Series 1, 1968 to 1970, it was launched at the Geneva Motor Show along with Aslero. It is equipped with a 3,929 cubic centimeters engine derived after its production was used on the 400 GT 2+2, rated at 325 horsepower. This design was inspired by Marzal's concept car. Campagnolo made the alloy wheels on knockoff hubs. The taillights installed are the same units as those used for the first Fiat 124 Sports Coupe. Before January 1970, 186 cars have been made. Series 2, 1970 to 1972. At the Brussels Motor Show in 1970, Lamborghini ESPADA S2 was unveiled. The only change noticeable on the outside was the deletion of the grille that covered the vertical glass tail panel. However, the inside changes were more radical, like the newly installed dashboard, center console, and steering wheel. The central armrest was revamped, while the ventilation for the rear seat passengers was also enhanced. Its power output increased to 350 horsepower, 261 kilowatts, 355 PS, due to a higher 10.7.1 compression ratio. Just like the S1205 VR15, Pirelli Cinturato CN72 tires were adjusted, which suited the car's handling until power steering was delivered as an option. Hence, 575 S2 Espadas were made, making it the mass-manufactured variable. Series 3, 1972 to 1978. This series was launched in 1972. With a revised work, the interior became incorporated into a redesigned aluminum-trimmed instrument panel that helped keep the panels and controls, including the radio, within easy reach of the motorist. The knockoff wheels were replaced with a 5-stud hub. There was even the option of a sunroof. In 1975, large impact bumpers were installed to meet the United States safety requirements. The United States emission requirements also led the company to install secondary air injection pumps, special tuning carburetors, and ignition systems in their cars. Although, based on these additional changes, there have been speculations that the United States spec cars were S4. However, Lamborghini did not officially change the model identification. Each of the above series featured interior redesigns, minor motorized modifications, and minor outside changes. 1,217 Espadas were made in total, thereby making it the most numerous and longest-running Lamborghini series until the expansion of Countach production, which took place in the mid-1980s. Which of these stories fascinates you? For more information like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button.